Alrighty, y'all. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our channel. Okay, 40 Days of Love, the Love Dare. We're on day number 2. We're finishing up. We should be finished with day number 2. We're moving into day number 3. So I apologize for having to delete that um, the previous video, but I need to make sure that I have Instagram. And I didn't have Instagram in there. And so I am trying to make sure that I have Instagram now. And I'm still not seeing Instagram. You got to be kidding me right now. Okay. All right. We're going to see where we are and if we are live at all. Let me go over to YouTube to see if we're on at all. Okay, I do see I'm live on YouTube, but I don't see that I'm live on Instagram. Why? Come on, Instagram. Instagram does not want me to be great right now. Okay, I'm going to have to try to see how to fix it, but I can't fix it, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Instagram. I'm trying. Nope. There's something wrong with Instagram, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, I can't get it to work. Okay, we're going to move on because I can't figure out what's wrong with Instagram tonight, which is unfortunate. It's not going to let me save that video. I already know the truth. So I'm going to move on. Okay, very good. Thank you for those of you who are here. Hey, everybody. Very good. But I don't see my Instagram. And I actually only have, let me see. Let me go back to Facebook. Let me look at my channels. Okay. I got Facebook folks. I got YouTube people. I have, but no Instagram. Okay. Sorry, Insta people. And I don't know how to get it back. Okay, let's see if it will let me view it on Instagram. View on Facebook. Let me see if it will let me view on Instagram. Nope. I still don't see it there. Okay. I don't have time to waste on that. So I am going to turn that one off because I don't have time to focus on it tonight. 1, 2. We just going to go with what we have. We're going to go with what we have. And I will figure out the next time. So you all let me know where you're chiming in from. There's something glitching over on Instagram, and I don't know what it is. So I do apologize. Excuse me. To my Instagram family, I will make my apologies to them again tomorrow night. I have no idea why it's glitching and why it will not let me do the things that I feel like I need to do. But yet, we're moving on. Okay, you guys chime in the chat. Let me know where you're chiming in from. And then we're going to jump in to recap day number 2. Day number 2's dare says, in addition, can somebody chime in the chat for me? Just type something in the chat and let me know that the chat is working because something else is missing on here now. I'm not sure why this thing is glitching tonight, but such is it at times. Okay. Day 2's dare says, in addition to saying nothing negative to your spouse again today, Do at least one unexpected gesture as an act of kindness. And I put a random act of kindness on my paper. Now, yesterday for day one, the first dare was no negative comments. And I know some of us did not make it through day one. I get that. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss Sue. Thank you, Miss Patrice. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to figure out all my logistics here because it's weirding me out right now, but we're good. Hey, how are you? Good to see you from Toronto. Well, all righty then. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining me. If you're new around here or you're new to the Love Dare, every year for the last 3 years, this is my third year through, I'm doing what's called the 40 Days of Love Challenge. And what that is, it's based on this book by Stephen and Alex Kendrick, or the Kendrick brothers, from a movie that they did called Courageous, starring Kirk Cameron, back in the early 2000s. And so they do a 40 days of love challenge where you're challenging your spouse, your loved one, your significant other. It's typically for husbands and wives, but if you're engaged or you've asked someone to marry you, that kind of thing, or you desire marriage. I desire marriage. I'm not married right now, but there's some key components in here that all of us can use, that we can learn from, that we can glean from, even pre-marriage. So every day for 40 days, and we started on January the 5th, which is Sunday, and we'll go through February the 13th. That way on Love Day, February the 14th, if anybody wants to go out with their significant person or whatever, you're not trying to come in and figure out what day 40 is on Love Day. We're finishing up a day early this year. So every day you get a specific reading that talks about that particular topic. Day number 1 was Love is Patient. And as a source verse, it gave you Ephesians 4:2. It says, be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. Your dare for that day was to not speak anything negative to your spouse. Then you had day number 2, which was yesterday. We prepped yesterday. Today is day number 2, which love is kind. And in addition to not saying anything negative, because now we're building on the dare from the day before, in addition to not saying anything negative, you were supposed to do a random act of kindness towards your spouse. Now, did anybody do the random act of kindness? Anybody? And we did have a list of random act of kindness things yesterday. I'll see if I can find that list on my phone. I won't bring it up on my computer because it slowed my computer down yesterday. So I'm going to see what I can find. Random acts of kindness. This was just the list that we had. Make their favorite meal unexpectedly. Leave them a note somewhere. They'll find it. Do a chore that they usually do without being asked. Give a surprise hug. Fill up their car with gas. Bring them coffee in bed. Plan a small spontaneous date. Compliment them genuinely. Listen to them. I suggested you could also do like a Grubhub or a DoorDash, because somebody helped me remember DoorDash yesterday if they forgot their lunch at work. Just something very random that they would not be expecting. Did anybody do the random act of kindness? Anybody? It was be spontaneous, be spontaneous about it. Okay. All right. Well, praise God. I hope you did them. Some of y'all are just maybe camera shy and you don't want to say it on camera. That's perfectly fine. But here's what I think. Just as I was saying that, the Holy Spirit was bringing this to my mind. And I just filmed a reel about doing different things, right? We've got to become so proactive about our marriage so that we're not reactionary about our marriage. We've got to become so proactive. I'm involved. I'm in this thing to win this thing. My spouse is important enough to me that I'm going hard in the paint for them all the time. I get it that some of us are very timid, but timidity and marriage just don't go together. It is not one of those things that goes together, because whenever you're timid in your marriage, you're going to have issues. And I'm not saying you have to be overly bold, but I'm saying that you do have to be, it's like you got to go all in. You got to be locked in with your marriage. If not, any little thing can come and just wreak havoc, do whatever, and you're going to be around here going, oh man, what happened? I didn't even know anything was wrong. Well, you didn't go hard for that man. You didn't go hard for that woman. And that's what we have to do in 2025. We just don't have the luxury of being lax about our marriages. That's my opinion. That's also my experience from being married before. It was just very, very lax. And how do you maintain a marriage in today's age, in today's social media and all the things that are happening? How do we maintain a marriage that's strong and healthy when we are not bold and vibrant about it? That's just my small little caution there. We're going to prep day 3, right? Tomorrow is day number 3. So every night I try to come on and prep you for the next day so that you're already starting, right? I have a book that I'm reading. It's called Becoming the Woman God Wants Me to Be. I'm supposed to read the book in the morning so I can know what my eating plan is. It makes no sense for me to read the book at night because I've already gone through my whole day, and I might have messed up the eating plan because there's an eating plan in here that I'm supposed to be following for my 75 medium challenge. So what I'm saying is I come in the day before to prep us for the next day. So when you wake up in the morning, day 3, it has started. Okay. Just make sure, because we're not too far ahead yet, but I want to make sure everybody is together. And then again, am I going hard for this marriage? Am I putting everything in that I need to put in for this marriage? Because here's the thing. Shakima can be gung-ho for your marriage, but I'm not married to your spouse. I'm not married to them. Are you gung-ho? Are you putting in the work? Are you doing all the things that you need to do for this marriage to be successful? And not just to be successful, but for it to be passionate all the time that you're married, for it to be extraordinary the whole time you're married, for it to be the marriage that everybody is looking at as the role model marriage. You have to determine that, not me. I'm serious about coming every night and helping and assisting you, but where are you in the process? Okay. Day 3, that's tomorrow. Love is not selfish. Now, remember when we did the marriage evaluation, for those of us who did the marriage evaluation, I did my marriage evaluation, and it told you or broke down for you what day was what attribute. So day 3 is an attention day. Day 3 is all about your spouse getting your attention some type of a way, or you giving them the attention. Now, remember, when you're doing the 40 days of love, your spouse doesn't necessarily know that you're doing this, right? We're not broadcasting, well, I'm doing the 40 days of love for you, and you ain't even trying to respond. They may never respond. They may not respond to day 39. They may respond on day 53 because you decided to go through it again because you didn't give it your best effort the first time. So this is about you. We go through this. Some of us approach this as God's going to fix my spouse. Well, I am probably here to tell you that going through this, God's fixing you. God has a work that he wants to do on the inside of the person that is doing the dare towards their spouse. Things about you should be changing as you engage with this content, as you listen to the videos, as you read through the scriptures, as you do the marriage evaluation to kind of see where you're strong and where you still have areas for improvement. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay. Day 3. Love is not selfish. Now, here's what selfish means. It's an adjective, which means it describes somebody or something of a person, action, or motive lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Selfishness is simply what it says. It's about me. It's my selfie. It's my car. It's my house. It's my stuff. It's my husband. It's my food. It's my job. Everything is about you. But what love is not selfish. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever should believe in him shall not perish but have eternal life." He loved us so much, he gave his most valuable and precious gift so that we could be saved. Now, I've said this before, and I know that many of you, your marriage evaluation can be found. Oh, Lord, see now, okay, Miss Patrice, I'm going to try my best. I don't want my computer. I think it was this. But if you go into Google and you type in the Love Dare Marriage Evaluation, it should come up for you. But I'm going to try to put this link in the chat. And so what it is I think it's 35 questions. You answer strongly agree, disagree, you agree. Those are your answer choices. And then at the end of the survey, it will give you some results. It'll tell you out of all 7 of the attributes: attention, affirmation, acceptance, affection, allowing, apology, and abiding. It will tell you what your score is and whether that's clearly a strength or there needs to be areas for improvement in that particular area. So it's a good tool. I've determined that it's a good tool. No, don't worry about that. Last night, if you were not here last night, I was trying to share some additional resources and it totally froze up my computer. But I don't think it was the evaluation. I think it was something else I was trying to share that was also a good help resource, but it just froze up my computer. But again, if you type in the Love Dare Marriage Evaluation, you should find it. But I did post the link and it will take you right there. They have one for marriages and one for parents. So depending on what you're doing. What I like about that evaluation is it gives you a bird's eye view into you if you answer correctly. The first time I took the evaluation, I made a 600 out of 1,000. 606 to be exact. Last year, 606. But I was just get back on track. Start fresh the next day and determine not to go off track again. That's kind of how I would do it. If you don't have a reason why you're doing something, you're never going to stick to it. So define your why and then just stick to your goals. Make a plan and stick to your goals. Okay. So what I found helpful for that marriage evaluation for me was it allowed me to know what my husband was seeing or would have been seeing if I were married. Because I answered it like I was married when I was married to him, back those days. But I'm not married now. And so when I did it this year, I based it on what I would do now. And so my score was, of course, much higher. But I evaluated myself based on how it would have been when I was married before. And it wasn't pleasant. Of course, all of us think we're doing our very best. And most of us are just giving our minimum effort. We're giving our minimum effort, not realizing that this one relationship should be outside of your relationship with the Lord. This should be the sole most important relationship that you have. And most times we give our spouse our scraps. I've worked all day. I've given all my energy to these people for 8, 10, 12, 16 hours. I don't have much. Wife's been home all day. She wants to talk. He wants to sleep. Or he wants to do other things. And she's been wrangling kids all day. Hadn't even had a chance to get a shower to get her body clean. And she looking at him real crazy like, dude, So we miscommunicate. We don't actively seek each other out unless it is for physical. And then there's no intimacy in the brain space. It's just bodies doing what bodies do. And so, of course, that desensitizes us and it makes us really not want to be with this person because all you want to do is this and you don't want to, you're not stimulating my brain. I need you to, you know what I'm saying? So I think for me, that's what was most important. But then it goes back to day number 3. Love is not selfish. Romans 12:10 says, be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Give preference to one another in honor. I wrote in my book, because I like to write. I write all over my book. I got notes. Y'all, this is a brand new book, so it's not, I have not marked this up. I'm just marking as I'm going by the day. We have to choose them before we choose ourselves. I have to, if I'm giving preference to another person, then I have to be able to choose that person over myself. I have to be able to say no to me in order to say yes to them. Now, that is not to be confused with being a doormat, letting somebody walk all over you, not standing up for yourself. It has nothing to do with mistreatment or ill treatment. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If anybody who's listening to me is being mistreated, ill treated, stop listening to this video. Go to your nearest police station, fire station, or local hospital and get out of that situation. This is just us, those of us who have been in it for a long time. We have become very comfortable. We no longer give preference or precedence to our spouse. It's just whatever, whenever, whoever, however. That's I'm not talking about anybody that's in imminent danger. I'm saying that we have to choose our spouse sometimes over us. That's being selfless and not selfish, because what I realize is selfishness then leads to self-centeredness, and everything revolves around you. I get what I want, say what I want, go where I want, spend what I want. And then the other spouse does not have any leeway to do that, because anything they do that takes away from what they're doing for me is now going to put me in a type of way feeling. You are going to serve me. You are going to do what I say anytime I say it. And that's that selfishness. What they say, I'm on page 11 if you have the book. And if not, there's a PDF for you that you can Google the Love Dare PDF, and it will pull up the entire book for you that you can read. You can scroll through. It says selfishness and love are in constant opposition to one another. They're always going to fight each other. I want my way, and love says I don't have to have my way. I'll give my way away. Does that make sense? Selfishness says I want my way. Love says I give away my rights so that you can have all of the rights. And here's how it works in marriage. If I'm being selfless and my spouse is being selfless, then we're both serving one another. So it's not that we are self-serving, we are serving each other. And because we're serving each other, filling each other's dreams, goals, wildest dreams, and all that, bare necessities, basic needs, when we're doing that with each other, then we should have a harmonious, symbiotic unity in our marriage. There should not be any strife. There should not be any contention. We should be going in the same direction. Amos 3:3, how can two walk together lest they be in agreement? That doesn't mean that we're always going to agree. We may have to have a discussion. I may not see it the way they see it, but selflessness says, hey, I don't have to have my way about this. We're not talking about moral standards. We're not talking about going against the Bible. We're not talking about going against your marriage covenant. We're talking about he wants to watch football and you want to watch House Hunters or something. You know what I'm saying? It's those menial little things that really don't have anything to do with anything, but it just makes them feel better. It esteems them better. So I'm going to do what esteems them. I'm going to not be selfish and want it my way. You understand what I'm saying? So selflessness is different than selfishness. Sorry, I have to call my children in here to help me do something. All right, I'm moving on. I'm still on page 11. Selfishness is me, my, mine. And when you get married, once you get married, I think if all married couples could get this in their heads, it would be so much better and would help us stay married or help us decide if we didn't want to be married. When it's just me, it's me, my, and mine. When it becomes two and the two shall become one, it becomes us, our. It no longer is me, my, and mine. It's us and our. You know, it's that thing where your money is my money and my money is my money. That's selfishness. Once you get married, it's our money. It's our investments. This is our property. Everything now is shared. We share the responsibility. We share the load. We share the joys. We share the downs, the ups. We share the disappointments. We share everything. And until we get to that point where we're not being selfish and wanting our way, the way we want it all the time, then you're going to struggle in your marriage if you stay married. Because remember what I said the other day, it's too easy in some places to get a divorce nowadays. So staying married may not necessarily be your testimony. People can get divorced without the other party being there. Ask me how I know. In North Carolina, you have to wait a year to get married. But once that year is, to get divorced. But once that year is over, you just go and file your paperwork. They've been served. They can show up or not. They can't keep you from not getting a divorce if they don't show up. Trust me. I did it twice because I've only been married once, but I didn't have something right in my paperwork the first time. And so they took my $187 and made me reapply for my divorce again at the tune of $187 to do it again, to file the paperwork again. All right. Okay. Love asks us to deny ourselves for the sake of someone else, and selfishness compels us to focus on ourselves at their expense. It's all about me. It's all about what I want. We become queen not for a day, but for forever. And this lowly person must serve me. He must serve me. He must. You hear that expression, happy wife, happy life. And it really should be happy spouse, happy house, because it's not just about making one or the other happy. Now, here's the truth about me. I'm very happy to serve my spouse. I'm very happy to serve my husband. It's just what I do. I am a what do I want? Acts of service. That's not it. The ministry of helps is something that I flourish in. How can I help you? How can I make your day better? How can I make things better for you? How can I lighten your load? How can I lift your burdens? That's my personality. It always has been. Not because I'm divorced and I learned it. This is just Shakima. This is what I have. And not a lot of people have that. So if you don't have that, you have to either train yourself or you have to ask for Holy Spirit help to help you be that person. Holy Spirit, help me serve my spouse, because right now I don't want to serve them. And that means serve them when they treat you good, serve them when they not treating you good, serve them when they just in their mood, serve them when, you just serving all the time. Again, not doormat, but I'm serving out a sense of love for my spouse. Okay. Selfishness says, I deserve, I expect, I want. I expect you to bring home all the money. I want what I want when I want it. And I deserve for you to treat me like a queen and put me up on a pedestal. All of that is very selfish. All of that is selfish. Here's what he said at the bottom of 11. Marriage exposes our selfishness in living color. When a husband puts his desires, interests, priorities ahead of his wife, he is flying a flag that says, I am selfish. And when a wife constantly complains about the time and energy she spends meeting the needs of her husband, she's revealing selfishness. On page 12, he said this was very good. Moodiness, complaining are selfishness in disguise. Laziness or irresponsibility are other masks it wears. Boasting and bragging, being easily angered, talking too much, never listening. The list goes on and on. Even generous actions can be selfish if the motive is to gain bragging rights or receive a reward. It's almost like these people who are out here doing acts of kindness and service on social media platforms, but they're filming it. If you were doing it out of the goodness of your heart, you wouldn't have to have anybody see it, right? I'm a social media person. I'm a social media influencer. I guess after you have a certain amount of people following you, you become an influencer. I'm an influencer. But when we go to church on Sundays, rarely do I have my phone out. I'm too busy trying to be with the Lord. I don't have time to be filming it. Me and the Lord locked in. I don't have time to be filming it. If you see me on film on a Sunday, somebody else is filming, because I don't have time for all that. I'm probably crying, snotting, rolling in the floor, whatever. I might be laying hands on somebody, giving a word, or whatever the case is. But I don't have time, because I don't need the recognition for something I did that was out of the kindness of my heart. When you're being kind towards your spouse, when you're being selfless towards your spouse, think about this. Do you have a hidden agenda? Because your spouse knows you. Think about this now. Your spouse knows you. My spouse will know me. When you do something kind, if they ask you, what do you want? Then you have a hidden agenda. There's a selfishness component in there, because they can't see for the life of them why you would be doing something kind for them, because they know it's going to cost them something. Oh, this is going to cost me something. Lord have mercy. How much is this going to cost? What did I do? Am I in trouble? Right? What is the hidden agenda, the hidden motive in my heart when I'm trying to serve my spouse? Do y'all remember the clip? Have y'all seen the Cosby Show when Elvin comes over to the house and he just happens to be sitting in the living room with Dr. Huxtable, and Claire comes in and she says, Cliff, would you like a cup of coffee? And he says, yes, I would. And Elvin says, you're going to serve him? And she looks at him real crazy and she says, yes, I am, Elvin. But do you mean like serve your man? And then she gives him that whole spiel. If you don't stop this macho stuff, you are never going to have anybody serve you anything, anywhere, anytime, any place, ever. And he's like, can I go get you some coffee? She's like, I'm going to bring him coffee because he brought me coffee this morning. So I'm serving my spouse because he served me. Now we're doing mutual serving. And as far as I know, again, it was just a TV show. But I don't ever remember there being too much disharmony, disunity in that household. Yes, it was a TV show, and yes, it was written and scripted and all of that. There were very few times when they were at odds with each other, because they both tried to outserve each other. There was always a kindness given. There was always a hug. There was always a gesture. There was always, you're doing so good. Thank you for helping. There was always those types of communications happening. What I think is so detrimental to us now is most of the shows that we see, you got the husband and wife always fighting, or somebody's cheating, or somebody doesn't come home, or somebody is mad and the baby mama drama happens. None of that is going to increase your willingness to serve the other person. But I'm going to serve them knowing that if I'm taking care of them, they're going to take care of me. Or that's my hope anyway. Again, those of us who are seeking marriage later in life, we have so much more opportunity to choose the right person now. We have such a huge opportunity to choose the right person for us, for where I am at this current stage and phase of my life. I'm not picking anybody that's not on the same road that I'm on. If they still trying to mature, I got to move past that. If they don't take care of their kids, I got to move past that. If they don't have their finances in order, got to move past that, because I'm not bringing anything into my space, my sphere, that's going to cause me to have angst and disunity and disharmony in my marriage. But some of us are in it already and we can't unchoose the person, right? We're in it. So then we take these principles and we then sow into our spouses. If you have your Bible, you may not, but I thought I would read this. Let me find, okay. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3. This is on page 13 at the bottom. And it says, do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit. Other translations will say vain conceit there. But with humility of mind, regard one another as more important than yourself. Regard your spouse as more important than yourself. Well, I'm not about to let no man be running over me. That's not what it said. It said, regard them as more important than you. You know how you would take care of you, so take care of them that way or better. because you esteem them higher. That's what the word tells us and commands us to do. And when we don't do that, I wonder why. Why can't you serve your spouse? What is wrong with serving your spouse? Well, my mama didn't serve my daddy. I'm not about to fix no plate. It doesn't mean don't fix a plate. Can I help everybody figure out this? Do you fix your man a plate first situation? Y'all want to hear the answer to that? Anybody want to hear the answer? Put it in the chat. I'll tell you. If people are asking you, do you serve your man before you serve your kids? That foolishness that's still kind of going on around here. Here's how you put to bed all of that. Sit down at the table and have a family meal. Then nobody has to fix anybody's plate. We all just serve each other. It's called pass the plate, pass the dish. Everybody sits around the table. Dad traditionally starts the serving. He picks up the meat, puts it on his plate, and then he passes it to the wife. You can do away with all of that foolishness by just sitting down and having a family meal together. And nobody has to worry about, am I going to feed my kids first? We're all serving one another. The kids pass the dish. Then the kids get up and they help with the cleaning task. It's everybody serving each other to make this family work. How does your family work? It works the best way that we know how to make it work. May not look like what your family does, but it works for our family. All right, I'm going to move on. He says on page 12, the bottom line, we all struggle with selfishness. The bottom line is this: either you make a decision out of love for others or you love yourself. There's only two options. I love you more than I love me, or I love me and I don't think about you. I'm thinking about me. And so we all have to determine and decide what it is that's going to make this marriage work. 1 Corinthians 13:5 says, but love does not seek its own, right? Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not seek its own. It beautifully finds its satisfaction in the welfare of other people. Those people who are selfless are really a lost commodity. Most people want to be around those people. They're like, oh my God, they'll give you the shirt off their back. Y'all ever heard that about people? They'll give you the shirt off their back. They'll give you their last. I mean, this is just who she is. It's just what she does. She'll give you the last that she has. Nobody's going to go hungry around her. Nobody's going to go wanting around him. They are a beautiful couple. Yes, they serve each other so well. Even into the 70s, 80s, 90-year-olds, all of that. I heard a story one time about a gentleman. I believe his wife of many, many, many years had been put in the nursing home. Something had happened and she had to go into the nursing home. Well, the husband said, look at here. I need a bed in her room because I'm moving into the nursing home with her. She needs me and I want to be here to serve her. Now, in the nursing home, care facility, whatever you want to call it, there are nurses, CNAs, all those people that come in and serve their residents. He says, no, I'm moving in with her because I need to serve her. She needs me here. What about the people who suffer from Alzheimer's, dementia, all those neurological things? I see TikToks all over the place, Reels, Instagram, all those, where you see the other spouse always serving their husband or their wife. And I know I saw one video and the man said, was it the woman? The grandchild was saying, this is my grandfather. He doesn't remember my grandmother's name, but she takes care of him every day. She's serving him. She could put him in a facility. She's given her due. She's done her due diligence. They've been married 40, 50 plus years. She's done all she needed to do. But her commitment in marriage was till death do us part. I'm serving my spouse, even if he doesn't remember my name. And if they have put their person in a facility, there was another gentleman, he came every day. Every day he came. And then when the pandemic hit and they couldn't visit, he would come and sit outside of her window every single day. He says, I've come every day to sit with her. And they would push her chair over to the window, and he would be on the outside. But the window was so tall and he was so far to the ground, and people began to see him. He's old. This man is in his late 70s, 80s. And somebody said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to build a platform. So they built a little platform for him so he could stand up on it and be able to see directly in. And he came every day. And then it started to get cold. So somebody saw him out there and they said, hey, we're going to get you one of those little insulated bubble things that you can sit in, those little tents with the clear tents, and you can sit in it, because he was determined to go and see his wife every single day. That selfless service. He could be in his nice warm house. He knows she's getting the care she needs. He's probably paying for it. But he said, no. I'm going there every day to make sure she has what she needs. I have another friend. She's actually my kid's aunt. Her name is Aunt Vicky. Aunt Vicky was married to Pop, and Pop had some medical issues for 12 years. 12 years Pop struggled with this particular situation. And he had nursing facility, people come in and out of the house. He would not let anybody tend to his particular wound except his wife. 12 years. She had to clean and wipe and redress and all of these things, his particular injury, for 12 years. Are we selfless to that point? No, he got a nurse. She coming in here. He could not. She allowed him to keep his dignity by helping him do those things. Sickness, health, and good and bad, and rich and poor, to death do us part. All those things that we said on the wedding day when everything looks really good. There's another girl, and I'm done. You'll have to go through and read this because I'm going to give you your dare, but I want to share this. She's on TikTok. I can't remember her name. I swear I hate to forget it, but she was married to a man named Brandon. She hasn't popped up in my thing in a long while, but she was married to a man named Brandon. They were so young, 20s, 22, 3, 4, all up in there, whatever. And one day Brandon got into a car accident and he had a TBI, traumatic brain injury. And she did her level best to take care of Brandon. She's in her 20s. 30, she was early 20s. They were young when they got married. I think they were married 3 years, somewhere in there. It was a little bit of time. And she did her very best to take care of Brandon. Well, after a certain amount of time, she just knew she couldn't do it at home anymore. So she actually put him in a care facility. And she would go and take care of Brandon and do all the things. Because she was so young. Now, again, we said in sickness, health, good and bad, rich and poor, and all that. And I believe in all of that. This is her story. I'm just telling you her story. After a certain amount of time, because she was so young, she divorced him. He's in the care facility. She's now divorced from him. But every single day, she still went to the care facility, even to the point where she went and got guardianship over him. She said in one of her recent posts, he didn't need a wife at that time when the traumatic brain injury happened. He needed a caregiver. And I switched my role. So she got custody, guardianship over him. She got married again. But she told the new husband, this is Brandon. Brandon's a part of my family. If you marry me, you get Brandon. They had children. She said to the husband and the children, this is Brandon. This is Uncle B. Her kids call him Uncle B. If you get me, you get Brandon. And every weekend or whatever the case is, her and her husband and her little kids go pick up Brandon and bring him home. And she's been doing this now for 10, 15 plus odd years. I don't know how old she is, but she's been doing this for a long time. And she says, I'll never not take care of Brandon, because she committed. She is being the epitome of selflessness. And her new husband is being selfless because he married her knowing that responsibility that she carried on her shoulders. Did she have to? She didn't. Did she choose to? She did. There's another man, and I'm done. There's another man. His name is Terrence somebody. I can't remember the last name, but his wife had a massive stroke. And they're on TikTok. And when I tell you the improvement that I've seen since I started watching them, and how her words, and they told him, she's beyond, we don't think she's going to get her speech back. He's like, I believe, I'm praying, I'm trusting the Lord. And she comes, and honey, her words are so good. I almost cry every time I see her, because he has been working with her every single day. And he tells her, baby, I love you. Where am I going? I'm never going to leave you. I'm always going to be here for you. And he means that thing. Takes her to her hair appointments, takes her to therapy, all the things. When it's good days, when it's bad days, he's right there. And that love and that care, because he could go out and do whatever he wanted to do. Who could blame him? But he says, no, I committed to this. I decided when I married her that I was going to be there for her in whatever capacity. That's selflessness at its very highest level. We think we're being selfless when we, when we don't ask to go out to eat somewhere. We're talking about caring for somebody that can't care for themselves, can't even wipe their, Terrence Hawthorne, thank you so much, can't even wipe their own behind. Is another girl on TikTok. Y'all, her TikTok name is called She Shoots. She used to be a very good basketball player, did all the basketball things. Well, she ended up having an autoimmune disease called scleroderma. And she shares her journey on TikTok. Well, her husband, I don't know his name. She just calls him Coach because he coaches basketball. Every day you see him giving her shot, her medication, helping her put her clothes on. She says, he even helps me wipe my booty. Selfless service. I can do very few things for myself. And this person has chosen to step beside me, stand beside me, lift me up when I need lifting, and do all the things that I need done, because I can't do them for myself anymore. And those are the type of marriages that have longevity. Those are the types of marriages that have testimonies of, you would not believe just how much this man loves me. You would not believe just how much this woman loves me, because she does all of this. And there's a younger guy. His name is Jamal. I think his name is Jamal. And he got into a car accident, TBI. His girlfriend, I don't think they were married. I don't think they're married. His girlfriend was young. I mean, these kids, they were kids. And she's still holding this man down. She's helped him get his speech back. She's helped him get his walking together. She helps him do all of the things. It's hard to understand him unless you've been around him. But she knows exactly what he's saying. They are together. That unity thing is happening. It's doing all that it is doing. I think he lives at home with mom, but she's over there helping him, or he goes to her house and all the things. So we're talking selfless. Here's the thing. This is the last thing that they share on the bottom of 13, and then I'm going to be done. Remember, your partner also has the challenge of learning to love a selfish person, right? You learning to love somebody that's selfish. They're learning to love somebody selfish. But don't wait on them to earn your love. People don't have to earn it. We didn't have to earn Jesus's love. He just gave it. So much so he loved us. He sent his most precious gift to ensure that I would have a chance at eternal life. That's the love that I need to be on. Don't wait for them to earn your love. Determine to be the first to demonstrate real love to them with your eyes wide open. Show them what it looks like by your unexpected example. And when all is said and done, you'll both be more fulfilled. Your dare for tomorrow, day number 3. Whatever you put your time, energy, and money into will become more important to you. It's hard to care for something you are not investing in. Along with refraining from any negative comments, tomorrow you're going to buy your spouse something that says, I was thinking of you today. Tomorrow, you're going to put your money where your mouth is, and you're going to buy something for your spouse that says, I was thinking of you today. Now, if anybody wants to buy me anything tomorrow, coffee is always in order. Always. I'm not a gifts person, but I love coffee. When you're done with your dare, you're going to put a check mark here, and then you're going to go through and reflect. I know this. Nope, tomorrow's day 3. Tomorrow is day 3 because we're on what? Tuesday? Tomorrow's Tuesday. So Sunday was day 1. Monday was day 2. Tomorrow is day 3. We prep a day ahead. So we're on day 3 tomorrow. At least that's what I have in my calendar. We prep the day before for the coming day. Okay. So in your reflections, last thing I want to chat about real quick. In your reflections, write down your real emotions, your real raw feelings, because they are real to you. They are very real, and it's nothing wrong with how you feel. But write it down and then go back and process, why do I feel like that? I was chatting with someone earlier. Why do you feel like this? Is there some underlying thing that we don't know that's going on? Maybe you don't know everything. Maybe they haven't shared with you some stuff. Maybe there's some tension at work. I don't know. But why do you feel the way you feel about doing the actions that it's asking you to do in this book? Remember what we said. This is not for the faint of heart. This is for the real true ones who want to see a change in their marriage. It's not up to us. It's up to you for your marriage. I'm stepping in for my marriage. I'm choosing for my marriage. And that's going to be your choice as well. So anywho, you guys, there it is. Very, very good luck to you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is, let me just check my book real quick, is day 3. I want to make sure that I have it right. Yes, tomorrow's Tuesday the 7th. It's day number 3. So we're, again, prep the day before for the upcoming day. So tomorrow is put your money where your mouth is. Show them how important they are. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be a small thing. If they eat out, pay for their lunch. Cash app them. Hey, babe, I'm cash apping you. I just want to pay for your lunch. It may make them feel a type of way. I don't know. They may not respond at all. I've been doing, and you can journal that. I've been doing these dares for the last 3 days. They haven't said anything, haven't appreciated me or nothing. Write it all down. Process those feelings. And then go back to God and say, God, did you tell me to do this? Or did I say I want to do this because I like Shakima and she usually has good ideas? Because you got to be in it to stay in it. It's not easy, y'all. I don't want to come up here and be doing this every night. And I have to come at 9, and I've already been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I'm tired. But I believe in the Lord, and I believe in your marriage. I'm rooting for y'all. I'm rooting for me. Remember what Miss Karen what that lady told Miss Karen? She said, whatever you sow into the lives of these children, you'll reap in the lives of your children. And what I believe the Lord said to me when he gave me this assignment, Shakima, whatever you sow into the lives of these marriages will be reaped in your marriage. I'm here for me, selfish as it is. Yes, I am. But in selflessness, I'm serving you. I'm studying. I'm pulling things out. I'm finding examples. I'm finding resources. That's selfless act on my part. I don't have to do any of this. but I want to do it and choose it because I want your marriage to work just like I want my marriage to work. I want to hear more testimonies of we were at the brink of divorce and look what God did. Girl, I did that 40-day challenge love thing you had going on, and woo, honey, just wait till day 32. I'm telling y'all, blow their socks off on day 32. Okay. All right, y'all. I love you. We'll see you tomorrow night. Now, I might just be a few minutes late tomorrow. I have prayer on Tuesdays. So I'll try my best to be here right at 9. But if you do not see me at 9, I will still be on. Just catch the replay. I don't expect you to just kind of hang out and wait for me. But I will be on at 9. And prayerfully tomorrow we'll be able to get our Instagram going because something is glitching over there on Instagram. I was having some issues. It says 2,870 weeks ago. And I know I just hit live right now. So something is glitching on their part. But anywho, all righty, y'all. I got to go. Love you guys. And I will see you the next time. Bye now. Bye, everybody. See you later.